Hey, what's slicing, everybody? Chris back with CAC Knives with a very cool knife find that I'd like to share with you. Before we get started, if you don't mind helping out the channel a little bit, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more cool internet knife finds that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. This being one of them that I'm going to show off today. This is a not as well-known brand called Turenz knives. This is the exact kind of model number here, and the only way that I've seen that you can find this outside of AliExpress is on Amazon. It did come with this cool kind of collector box, magnetic closure, kind of foam on top, had a little card insert here. Thank you. If you want to pause the video and read that, you can. But it actually has a limited warranty here. Knives are sharp. In case you didn't know. And well, there's a few other models I might have to check out for myself after being insanely impressed with this knife. I have owned one Turenz knife before that I'm going to definitely get back because it's only about an $80 knife. It has like a skull pattern G10. I can't believe I sold it. I don't know why I sold it. But anyways, it also came with this really nice leather sheath, which isn't insanely necessary considering the knife does have a pocket clip. But yeah, it has that and had this really nice pouch. Now I will say this knife clearly is made in China, but this is what I call the good China. It even came with this, like, if you want to add a lanyard, it came with that. It came with a tool to take it apart. You know, these are just little details that show that made in China knives can do things right sometimes. But on to the knife. What we have here is what I call a hidden gem. I'm pretty good at finding knives that are basically things that aren't the normal everyday item that you find on the internet. Even on Amazon, this was not an easy thing to find. You have to really take some time to search in order to find things like this. And I'm pretty good at doing that. I like to find new knives. As you know, my collection is has nothing really similar to each other in it, and I will continue to collect that way. And I will continue to find affordable gems like this. Now, I keep calling this a gem, and there's a lot of reasons for that. First off, the fit and finish of this knife is just mind-blowing. There's so many little details about this knife. Excuse me. Still have the same cold that I've had for weeks. There's so many little details about this knife that are just fascinating. Like, look at this work up in front of the Timascus inlay. And yes, that is Timascus on both sides. The little bolster inlays there. And done very well, I might add. Very pretty. I will try at the end of the video to get some different lighting and see if it shows up a little better in different lighting. But they also added all this cool work on the handle scales, like just very unique. They got gold anodization going on between all these lines and like diamond designs here, and then it's kind of a greenish anodization around it. And then a different scheme going on the back here. You know, you got the big gold X on both sides, but since the pocket clip's back here, the handle scale's done fairly similar, but then the clip, very unique clip. All titanium, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that already. The handle scales, the pocket clip are full titanium. The screws are probably stainless. But, you know, the things that need to be titanium are titanium. It definitely has to be on bearings based on how smooth this action is. It has a very slender, but very, very nice blade. It is an M390 blade. And yes, you heard that correct. This is an Amazon knife with a full titanium handle, Timascus inlays, a titanium pocket clip, and an M390 blade on Amazon for $170 to $180. Now, certain people out there are gonna, you know, they're gonna hear that and they're gonna be like, well, that's expensive for a pocket knife. No. For one, it's not expensive for a pocket knife. It really isn't. Not when you, not when you're a collector, it's not. For two, considering these materials, yeah, that's cheap. Timascus, full titanium, M390. Not to mention, this knife is slender, but it's a long knife. This thing, oh, there, I opened it on the pad. This thing is a very long knife. Just to show you how long this knife is. Here is my, hard to open knives whenever the camera's right in front of me here. Here is my Mokutai QSB Penguin here. Okay? As you can see, definitely doesn't have girth, right? But, man, it makes up for it in length. Whew. It is a slicey knife. Here is the Spyderco Delica, also girthier. I say girth as I don't really know another word to use. But, lengthwise, it is destroying both of these knives. And might I say, this thing is very light. Very light. Barely even know it's in your pocket. It does have a few negatives, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But, very long, slender knife. And here we have the Civivi Backlash, a very large knife, you know, itself. Make it look a little better on the camera there. And my Arcane Design Crawler, which is also a very full-size knife. When I say full-size, I consider these to be full-size knives, meaning that you get a nice, good grip on them. They got a nice, large blade. But it's longer than those, like, against the Backlash. Obviously, it is not near as thick, but look at that blade. Like, geez, it's got some thickness on the top of the blade, but, you know, it's definitely more thin and slender everywhere else. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. It is very sharp slicer. I've almost cut myself like 4 times already on this knife because it is so smooth and so sharp. Luckily, all it's done is nicked my nail a little bit on the top. But if we're going to talk about materials, let's just talk about materials for a second for its price, okay? Now, I understand there is not near as much metal in this slender thing as there is in my Arcane Design Crawler. However, both knives were very well manufactured in China. Both run on bearings. Both have M390 blades. Both have full titanium handles. This has Zircutai pivot collars and a Zircutai pocket clip, right? Zircutai is more expensive than Timascus. So that is going to increase the price. Let's say the Zircotai would increase the price by $150 over the Timascus, okay? We're still looking at a... Oh, what is this? If we just say the base price is $300, which I think it was a little more than that for the crawler, plus $250 for the Zircotai. You know, let's just say this was about $550 brand new. This is $170, guys. $170. This is one of the cheapest ways on the market right now to get Timascus and M390. I am completely blown away. It has, although it is kind of sharp on the end, you barely kind of notice it because it goes into your pocket so easily. If you kind of pick it up like that to put it into your pocket, you barely even notice that it's sharp. It actually does a very good job, and it has what I call a good titanium clip. When I say good clip, there are good clips and there are bad clips. Bad titanium clips are so tight that you can only wear them with certain kinds of clothes. Like you can only wear them with, say, cargo shorts. You can't put them in your pocket if you have sweatpants on or kind of basketball-like shorts. But good titanium clips work equally as good as stainless steel clips do. The Zircotai clip on my Arcane Design knife is also good. You hear it click? If I can make it click like that, it's a good clip. If I can't make it click, it's probably too tight. It should be able to click at least a little bit. Like on my carved EDC knife, that pocket clip, way too tight. Though it does kind of bring up the few negatives. For one, considering how slender it is and how it was made, it has some sharp points. The glass breaker that it comes with, which I'm not a huge fan of glass breakers. I think they could have done without this. I kind of wish they would have. But it's very sharp, very pointy. I mean, you hardly ever even touch it, but, you know, if you're going in to get it and it gets the top of your hand, you will feel it. You know, I just pushed fairly hard on my hand, and you can see it didn't cut me or anything, but it is pretty sharp. The other end, they actually kind of dulled this end a little bit. I know it kind of might look sharp on the camera, but they kind of dulled it. Like, it's not near as sharp, so that's good. And like I said, the pocket clip itself looks sharp, but they kind of dulled it out too. I mean, the only thing that's really, really sharp is this. This is very pointy, very, very pokey. But, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I can deal with it considering the price point. It also has I guess what you want to call another layer of a lock. Since the lock is, you know, since the blade is thinner and the frame lock is thinner, and they added this on there to allow you to lock the knife in place with a backup lock. And that is very cool of them. Very, very cool idea. And like I said, it is on bearings. You can clearly tell. You can tell when a knife's on bearings. When a knife's on bearings, it will do that very smooth. Just, yeah, very smooth. So it's clearly on bearings. The other gripe that I have, the opening, it is small, right? So we got to take that into account. It's already going to be difficult maybe, but they did put some jimping on the top. They put some jimping on the end. It's kind of sharp. You might want to file it down a little bit. However, I've learned if you just tuck your finger up and around, it's not really sharp at all. So maybe it's just a matter of me learning how to flip this knife open. Because I used to get poked by it every time, but now that I know, yeah, it has a tiny bit of lock stick there, but it's also brand new. So hopefully that'll fade away with time. My other Turenz knife also had some lock stick, but it faded away with time. Do I recommend this knife? 100%. Especially if you're getting into knife collecting, you see Timascus, you love Timascus, you don't want to pay, you know, the price for Timascus. I'm pretty good at weeding out cheaper ways to get Timascus on knives, and this is one of the cheapest. There is not many better options currently out on the market for Timascus than this knife right here. And it's very well done, looks very nice. The blade itself, obviously, even though it is $390, it is very slim. It's very slicey, very sharp, but it's very slim. And it's obviously, you don't want to pry with it or anything. It is very much just for, you know, slicing cardboard, slicing up, you know, opening boxes, things like that. Don't think it's not tough, though. M390 is a very strong steel. I personally like the, if I'm going to get a tough steel like that, I'd prefer S90V. It's just my personal opinion. Or I'd prefer like S35VN and stuff like that, because S35VN, S40V, you know, S30V, they're all easier, way easier to sharpen. Yeah, they go dull a little bit quicker, but they're way easier to sharpen than M390 is. Just due to they're the best overall steels in my opinion. But I know M390 is kind of the king. M390, 20CV, you know, they're kind of the thing that premium knives like to come with these days, which is fine. So it does have that premium steel on there. Turenz has been tested by Love Them Knives, another YouTube channel that tests blade steels, and they have been tested before, and it came out to be true to what the steel said it was. So you can trust that they're not lying to you. And overall, this is just, it's a great looking knife. It's obviously more meant for collectors. This probably ain't a knife you're just gonna grab and go work, you know, outside with or anything. But it's not too expensive of a knife where you couldn't like replace it. Now I will say on Amazon, they have about 30 of these left. There's not a video on YouTube until this video of this knife. I have a feeling once I post this knife, they will get sold out very fast. Finding gems like this, finding Timascus in a cheap knife that still looks good, functions good, you know, has a good blade steel, they sell out quick, guys. They sell out very quick. And I would go get yours sooner rather than later if you do like the looks. Instead of gold, they have one with silver, or a more like normal titanium kind of look. It's more silver than gray. But if you just want like more plain Jane titanium with the green and the Timascus, they have that on there. I love the gold anodization. But yeah, let me show off the knife in a few different lightings. Take the light down a few notches. See if I can't show this Timascus better. See what it looks like in different lights. This specific Timascus has a good amount of orange and blue coming through, darker blue and lighter blue. Wipe it off a little there. I did clean it before the video. I do plan on doing a knife cleaning video in the future. Just camera angles, only like to get it. Insert lights. Oh. Let's see if we turn it down a lot. Some shadows are going to start showing up, but might allow you guys to see the Timascus better. And same if we turn her up all the way. I don't know why other YouTubers don't mess with their lighting while they're showing these things off. I think it would help them a lot, because in some angles I'm sure that looked better than in other ones. But with that, that'll end today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.